All right. Okay. All right. Now, other factors in suggestion. Repetition. We have learned things by repetition. Is that correct? Lots of things we know. 9 multiplied by 9 is what? 80. How did you know it? Huh? Did when you say 83 children, as a little kid, the teacher banged you up. Right? Smell. All right. So, repetition, reinforcement. Every time you got good marks, they congratulated you. Every time you got bad marks, you saw the parents' faces. Right? So that's reinforcement. Use of the subject's imagination. In whatever goals you want to achieve, you have to use your imagination. Suppose you want to better your game, play golf, for example. So you want to say Arnold Palmer is one of the greatest golfers in the world. So I'll be like Arnold Palmer. But that's not within your imagination because you have never seen his game possibly. So find somebody who is very good, whose game you know. So then you can identify with that and use him as a model. Does it make sense? That I want to be like him. So it should be from within your imagination. Use of as if principle. Then think in terms as if you have already achieved your goals. Like in North America, when you go to buy a car. See, the concept of salesmanship is changing now. It used to be as you go in to buy a car, they shake hands with you very firmly. Sir, we've got a beauty just like things you would like, and they push you to a car. Now, they've learned what is known as consultative selling. So you walk in, and this is fantastic. The effect of this is brilliant. You walk in, like Indian walks in. I walked in. So if I'm a Gujarati, I like first car every Indian wants to buy. That if it's Gujarati, it's Impala, and if it's a Punjabi, it's Mustang. So I walk into that showroom, looking for a car. Sir, what kind of a car were you looking for? What are you looking for? Well, I was looking for a nice Impala. Any special color, sir? Well, powder blue will be my preference. Inside, interior, exterior, the same, sir? Well, I never thought about that. But now that you mention it, maybe interior I would like a beige color and outside powder blue. Okay, fine. So 2-door or 4-door? Well, I like to have my sitar put in the back seat, and 2 doors are very heavy, so I like a 4-door, so open it easily and close it easily. Okay, 4-door Impala. Any special engine size you want? I don't know much about engines. What is normal? Well, 350 cc, sir, would be fine for you. Yeah, that sounds all right. Sir, we have a most beautiful Impala. Beige interior, powder blue exterior, 4-door, 350 cc engine. You sit into that car, feel the beautiful upholstery. You look into the rear view mirror and you see the jealous eyes of the neighbors looking at you. He puts you in the car, in your head. And I know something very fascinating about this. I've gone with MS and PhD to this car showroom. The salesman has done this to them. When they turn to me and they say, how does he know what I want? He knows exactly what I like. I say, you just told him all this. They don't remember a word. They've fed him all the information. All he has done is repeated the information, and they've forgotten that they told. He said, oh, he's fantastic. He knows precisely what I'm looking for. This is how we are. Suggestible. So use of the as-if principle. Unambiguous and literal phrasing. Phrase the suggestions literally and allow. Now when you want to achieve your goal through self-hypnosis, I suggest that you give the same suggestion for the same goal for at least 3 weeks. Say you want to achieve 3 different goals in next 6 months. 3 goals in next 6 months. I want you to give suggestion just for one goal for 3 weeks, that I will achieve this in 6 months. Then the second goal, next 3 weeks, again that you will achieve it in 6 months. Because it takes about 3 weeks for the subconscious mind to internalize it, so the process starts working on its own. So keep one goal and the suggestion for the same goal 3 weeks in a row. You can have as many goals as you want. Throughout your life, the goals will keep on changing, right? And you will have more goals and better goals. Now, allow time to take place. Okay, that brings us to topic 16, self-hypnosis. Self-hypnosis. In 1857, when sepoys were fighting a mutiny against British rule, a child was born in France, Émile Coué, who gave a word in English language, Couéism, the power of positive thinking. Every day, in every way, I am getting better and better. The concept of self-hypnosis is that the trance is induced by the subject himself, and he alone is in control of what suggestions to give himself. Suggestions may come from within or without. As long as you cooperate, they work. And in that sense, all hypnosis is self-hypnosis. Any of the phenomena which could be obtained by hypnotism or by the use of post-hypnotic suggestions can also be produced by means of auto-suggestion. So theoretically, you can achieve anything you wish to achieve through self-hypnosis. Now, why I say theoretical? Say if you have some problem, but the problem curing might require some specialized knowledge in psychology or something. So while theoretically you can cure it, because you are not specialized in psychology or in the curing the problem, you will not be able to cure it. So for that you need a professional help. Does it make sense? But if you are a psychologist yourself, certainly you can cure your problem through self-hypnosis. Freud, when he became an analyst, he was also his first patient. He did self-analysis before he came out with all this theory and the rest of it. So, now there are two ways of learning self-hypnosis. One is hetero-hypnosis, which means through somebody else, through other, like you are doing. Other one is reading and practicing, the way I learned it. Years ago, I picked up a book when I got interested in the subject, and I had all the misconceptions and fears and apprehension that you may have had when you walked into this room this morning. And I started hypnotizing myself. The muscles of my face are relaxing, the muscles of my jaw relaxing. And I felt so chilly, I gave up. End of day 1. Day 2, muscles of my chest are relaxing and the muscles of my stomach are relaxing. And I broke out in sweat. Second day, over. Third day, the muscles of my stomach are relaxing and the muscles of my abdominal muscles are relaxing. I should have gone to bathroom before I started this. End of day 3. Day 4, muscles of my abdomen are relaxing. This relaxation is going down. What happens if I die while I'm doing this? I got up and I called my brother. I said, if I don't call you in 20 minutes, and then I caught myself, what am I going to tell you? No, don't call in, I'm dead? So he said, yes, what? I said, forget it, I'll call you in 20 minutes. It took me 6 months to achieve what you achieved after lunch today. I persisted and I learned a lot in the process. I talked to a lot of people, I read a lot. And as a result, I put this course together years later. So the point is that it's hard to learn by yourself. It's easy to learn through somebody. And books don't suffice because books don't answer all the questions, no matter how good the books are. Because the questions could be of a personal nature and books don't anticipate them. There are advantages of learning self-hypnosis. The obvious one is relaxation. Then breaking of bad habits, increasing concentration, improving memory, positively contributing to mental, spiritual phases of life, overcoming insomnia, stopping pain and bleeding in emergency only, that is on the way to the doctor. Now, the point is, there are many other advantages, but just because you relaxed like you did does not mean you will achieve all these advantages right away. There is something else you must do. Before I tell you what that something else is, there are some possible problems you should be aware of. First one, procrastination, what Spanish people call mañana. I will do it tomorrow. So as a result, you got a lot of empty yesterdays, and nothing happens. So procrastination. Second possible problem, trying instead of doing. I suggest that you spend these 20 minutes on yourself every day, even if nothing happens. Just waste it. You deserve it. Waste these 20 minutes on yourself every day. Third possible problem, remembering of past incidents. You experiment with yourself. When I was 4 years old, something happened, I don't remember. So you relax yourself and say, I want to remember what happened. So you found out you were molested by somebody. That's not a nice thing to remember at that time. So unless you have professional help you needing for something like that, otherwise don't play around with things like that. Last problem is unique. It has happened only once in the history that we know of, but it's interesting enough to warrant a mention. And that is hallucination. Dr. Estabrook is more interesting because it happened to a doctor who was a psychologist and hypnotherapist himself. Dr. Estabrook was a psychologist, Rhodes Scholar, professor of psychology at Colgate University in States. Once he was sick, she was hospitalized. American hospitals are very boring places to be in. You are there and they change your bed sheets every so often with smell of bleach. Visitors are allowed only about an hour or so, and rest of the time you feel lonely and depressed. They give you the most horrible tasting bland potato soup to eat, which leaves a putrid taste in your mouth. So for all these long hours you are bored and lonely in this bleach smell, lying about. India, hospitals in India, hospitals are very exciting places to be in. They do not disturb you by changing your bed sheets. Visitors are allowed at all times. They stay there with you. They bring you the best food because they know what you like. Doctors don't know what you like.
Just like a railway platform.
That's right, it's like a railway platform. They bring you the best food. They also know this might be the last chance you get it. You don't know what is going up your vein is glucose or petrol or kerosene. There is never a dull moment in an Indian hospital. Poor Estabrook, confined to an American hospital. He was bored. So he hypnotized himself. And he said, I want to play with a big fat bear. Bang, bear came. In psychology we call it positive hallucination, which means there is no stimulus, the person reacts as if there is a stimulus. All of you must have positively hallucinated. Has it happened to you that you heard a knock on the door and you went and opened the door? Huh? Right? There was nobody. That is a positive audio hallucination. There was no stimulus, you react there as if there is. But the only difference is we say, oh, all right, we forget it. But crazy people, they lose control over this hallucination. Dr. Estabrook had a great time in this hospital playing with the bear. He sent it play with the nurses, with the doctors. Great time for 2-3 weeks. He got discharged. He got into his car. Next to him, Mr. Bear. So where are you going? So I'm coming home, doctor. Remember we were good friends for about 2-3 weeks? He said, get out of here. Nope. He lost control over it. In psychiatry, we call it onset of psychosis, crossing the borderline. So he had a hard time getting rid of the bear, and when he least expected it, the bear will pop up. One day he's playing a hand-up bridge, and up comes the bear. He said, I hope somebody takes this damn beast away from me. And people in America, psychologists have a reputation for having a screw loose anyway. So he says, what is this? So psychologist, what has happened to him? And after that, Estabrook didn't want anything to do with self-hypnosis. That's because he himself suffered from this hallucination. To avoid all this, I've developed a 6-step method. So start writing. 6-step method to success by ROOSHI Kumar PANDYA. Step number 1. Start writing. Step 1. Select a short-term, personal, practical goal. Select a short-term, personal, practical goal. Step 2. Step 2. Write down 5 positive suggestions. Write down 5 positive suggestions for achieving that goal. Write down 5 positive suggestions for achieving that goal. Next step. Before going into self-hypnosis, read each suggestion 5 times. Read each suggestion 5 times. Aloud, A-L-O-U-D, aloud to yourself, with belief, conviction, and faith in yourself, with belief, conviction, and faith in yourself and God. Step 4. Go into self-hypnosis. By mentally talking to yourself, and relaxing each and every part of your body. Step 5. Shut up and imagine for about 10 minutes as if you have already achieved your goal. Step 6. Count to 3 and open your eyes, feeling refreshed.